Hi, this is Mr. Moreno, and this is for Past 6 or Past 7, Chapter 2, Introduction. So, why do you have to watch this video? Well, because the book thinks you know this, and the book explains this in a very, very difficult way. And I'm pretty sure you're going to be very confused if you don't see this video. So, we're going to start with what are atoms and what are elements. The book assumes you already know what this is. So again, this is for Earth's surface and Earth's atmosphere. So past 6 or past 7. So everything in the universe, everything you've ever seen, a book, a chair, a table, the board, the marker, air, any liquid, any gas, or any solid in the universe is made up of atoms. And what is an atom? We found out a long time ago that if you keep cutting something smaller and smaller and smaller, something smaller, you get to a very small, like a ball, that you cannot cut anymore. That is the smallest type of matter, and that is called an atom. And we found out later, actually, very kind of recently, that these atoms are made up of 3 things: protons, electrons, and neutrons. And if you know, for example, debate, pro means yes, plus, I agree. Pro has a positive charge, like a battery. If you think about a battery, plus. Electrons have negative charge. That's why they're minus. And neutrons have no charge. You don't have to know what neutrons do, ever. Well, maybe if you study science later. But you don't have to know for this class. So what does an atom look like? If I zoom in, if I have a super microscope, it looks kind of like this. This is the element helium. This is the atom for helium. So atom is one little thing, and an element is when they are all the same. So this is one atom, 2 protons, 2 neutrons, 2 electrons. The amount of neutrons does not matter. You don't have to ever count neutrons. The amount of electrons matters a little bit. But what you need to know is how many protons are in this atom. That is important. Why is that important? Well, we found out, for example, if we have 1 proton, and usually there's 1 electron circling it, electrons move around, that is helium. And all of the ones that look like this have special properties. They do something special. This one, for example, can explode. If you put fire on it, it blows up. It's hydrogen. However, this one has 2 protons, right? And 2 neutrons, sometimes 2 electrons. This one is called helium. This one is they're both gases, but this one, I'll write the name here, hydrogen. This one, no matter what you do, it will never explode. It will not even react. It won't play with other elements. He wants to hang out with other helium, and it's happy with other helium. It won't do anything with other elements. So what is important for knowing elements? They each have a name. And we have a table, a list of how many there are. You don't have to know why we have this list. You just have to know that this list exists. And how did we make this list? Well, we counted how many protons are inside. This one has 2. So it's element number 2. This one has 1. It's the smallest element in the universe. And if you look at the sun is made of mostly this and this. That's it. Almost 99% is made out of that. So you need to count the protons. Why is that important? Well, here's a video of me looking at myself. But if you go to Google, for example, and I hope you can see, and I search periodic table, that is the list of these elements. The first one, I click on the first one. Here's this list somebody has made of all of these, and they all have symbols. And you didn't know before, but you've seen some of these before. For example, I don't know if you knew hydrogen and helium. I think they have a similar Korean name. But I'm sure you know, not lithium or beryllium or boron, you probably know carbon. We talked about nitrogen in class. And you should definitely know oxygen. O is oxygen. It's number 8. And by that you know that there are 8 protons inside that atom. And when we're talking about there's this much oxygen, it means there are a bunch of atoms that have only the element oxygen. In air, if you remember, for both classes, past 6 and 7, air is mostly this element, nitrogen, and this element, oxygen. So why is this important? Well, you need to know that what these atoms are made of to understand the following chapters. So that is it for the intro for atoms and elements.